Black Wall Street is now online, baby. That's right. Visit the GW District. Shop the very best in men's and women's apparel and accessories, home decor, office supplies, books, pantry items, and so much more. The GW District is a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media. We're both veteran and Black-owned, and we're bringing you the best online shopping experience with products made by small businesses. Come and experience the GW District difference today at shopgwdistrict.com. That's shopgwdistrict.com. The GW District, a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Man,
What's going on, buddy?
just another day and another lesson.
Oh my God! What was the lesson that you learned today?
That I'm gonna have to start putting like rules, for talent that comes to Atlanta, and just kind of having a very chill but very hard line on things. And also, I have a big event coming up, and I'm literally going to pull. I messaged him today. I pulled him aside, and I said I'm coming with ideas and like literal written down proposals, and I'm gonna make you see. Rather than get pissy and embittered, I'm going to make you so much money and basically raise the brand as much as I humanly can that people are going to be whining at you as to why they can't get on our set.
And that's what I hope happens, because like I said, from listening to one of my favorite podcasts, the conversation of ownership, which we're not going to have it on this episode, on this podcast technically, but it's a lot of responsibility with it, and a lot of people don't realize when you own something, like even when I look at, one of our favorite people that owns a wrestling podcast network, Conrad Thompson, the responsibility that he has to have for the people that he employs, not just the personalities, but the engineers and all that and stuff. It's a lot. And also what people gotta realize, the owner don't get paid at first. He's the last to get paid. That's why it's called back end. You feel me? Yeah. So like, trust me, it just like with for example, Jared. Before Jared got his money, he had to make sure the wrestlers got theirs.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's it's that's why if you create something or you're working for somebody, they're eventually going to get a bigger cut, but that comes at the end.
And you got to wait.
Yeah. Now, again, it also doesn't mean that you neglect your talent, because if something is thriving, your cut at the end is getting bigger. Therefore, if I'm the one driving, if I bring you an idea and it's thriving, my cut should exponentially be getting bigger, even though you're still the one making more. It's
See, that's why I want to get it to where I'm paying you people and paying you well. You know what I'm saying? And if something like for example, let's say if Spotify wants Pilgrim on wrestling, that's 50-50, goddammit.
Well, that's the offer that you made me when we started doing this, and I said, I was thinking of ideas for T-shirts, and you'll get there.
Everyone's a work in progress. So,
yeah,
and like I said, that's my goal, is to make so much money podcasting that not only am I rich, the people that's hosting with me are rich, that they're well off.
Well, that's my attitude. When I walk on set, regardless if it's a shared or if I'm being paid, my first attitude when I walk on set is, how can I make everybody on this set involved a lot of money, and then myself? So that's my attitude going into every scene and every product. And that's kind of how that's going to be my fuck you. That's going to be my middle finger. I'm not going to be doing like ranting live streams on Instagram. I'm not going to be like petty at the bar or anything at Exoticas. I'm just going to be like, well, Abbey Roads, kind of was there from the bottom. That's why Abbey Rhodes is, and Abbey Rhodes is making bank all with me or all for me. Same thing with like Mr. Nuts and Salacious Perceptions. It's like they're gonna make a lot of money, and we can still make money, but now that we're at the table, things are going to be a little bit different. Whereas now before it was like, what can we do together? Now it's going to be more of, well, why am I here, and what can you do? Why am I going to be involved? What is It's like I'm still going to have the same attitude of like I'm going to make you money, but now it's going to be and explain to me why I'm going to take time out of my day to make you money.
And that's where we want to go, people. That's where we want to be, and that's why we do Pro Wrestling Smoke. What's a great segue, my brother? Great segue. Yes. How y'all doing today? Welcome to the Premium Smoke Room. And if you're listening to this, you have paid that $4.99 to hear some of the best wrestling punditry on the fucking net. Yes, Pro Wrestling Smoke, where we take a topic and we break it down to the science. I am Calvin Arbor Southern Champ, and I am here with the great and lovely and wonderful and funny Billy Pilgrim.
Yeah, he's very generous, but that really depends on how many drinks I've had that day, depending on how lovely and how funny I am. I'm actually starting drinking. I mean, I'm still going to the gym, but I'm doing a little pre-gym drinking.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. And we are sponsored by ExciteBunny.com, EroticismMagazine.com, and LSSwirl.com, and a proud member of the GW District Black Podcasting Network. And this is a part of the Smoke This Over Cloud. He came up with the name, where and the Premium Smoke Room. So enough said, let's get to it. Today, you get to hear us break down and review AEW Revolution. And before I even tell my thoughts, what was your thoughts on the pay-per-view on the whole?
Expectations were very high. So, obviously there was disappointment when you really are amped up for something. Lewis Black said it best, that the moment of anticipation is really the best moment. So if you were smart, you would just think about something and then not do it. But no, I liked it, but there's definitely some stuff that stuck out that I was like, okay, you guys need to tighten this up. You need to fix this. And there's definitely one thing I want to say off the bat before I forget, because once we get rolling, you and I have such, we connect so well that usually after every show, I think of like 6 things that I meant to bring up. When Cody said something that I found really stupid when he started AEW, and that, we're not going to recognize the same old wrestling tropes, like good guys, bad guys, and so on and so forth. And it's like, no, dumbass. That's actually pro wrestling. The tropes are multi-man matches, a table being broken every 5 minutes, thumbtacks, kendo sticks, like ridiculous, 3 guys doing one suplex in a big old pylon. Like that actually is a trope that that AEW and every wrestling company across the land is blatantly guilty of. So, like, to me, those are the tropes. And if you want to have a wrestling company and you want to be different right off the bat, keep the broken tables to a minimum of 5 a year and save it only for your top guys. Ban kendo sticks, thumbtacks, and any kind of weird going under the ring, because the under the ring is not a Home Depot. If I ran a wrestling company and if I saw one thumbtack, you're fired. If I see one kendo stick, you're fired, and it's a $10,000 fine for every thumbtack I see.
Yeah, because one thing I can say about this pay-per-view, each match was different. I didn't see the same thing. The only thing I might have saw in 2 matches was blood, but how they got to the blood was different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was a good pay-per-view, and the thing is, I actually spent money on it, and I own it now, but I don't regret buying it, which is the important part. But there definitely was stuff I was like, you either need to get Ring of Honor up and running and spread some of these guys out, or you need to really, like, Tony really does need to stop being everybody's friend and really kind of start to clamp down. Because some stuff I loved, and some stuff I'm like, I hate this, and other stuff I was like, I am so beyond seeing this. I'm so tired of it that I'm literally now going to just like shut off the TV, or fast forward. So in the future, when you ask me something, I'll be like, oh no, I fast forward, because I'm at the point now where I refuse to even acknowledge, even on my show, on TV, anything. Like, I'm not acknowledging that this is dumb, and you need to get over it.
Yeah. So shoot. So where shall we begin? Well, I'm going to begin with me. The match of the night for me. And it was a hard decision because it was 3 matches that I really, really did when I watched them. And I came up with, and y'all guessed it, just the dog collar match. I'm sorry. That shit was fucking good as shit. And of course, of course, people are going to, ask the question, which one you think was better? That or Piper versus Valentine. Okay, people, let's make this clear. Let's just get this out, and then we can go on to describing the match. Roddy Piper's and them was better. Sorry, it just was better. Not because it was older, it was just better. You get what I'm saying? So but it's not. It's a close. But this match here was a close second behind it, though. I liked the pacing. I liked the way that they did the match, the way that they handled the match, and they even liked the ending. Period. So, your thoughts?
Well, it's funny that you said that, because I was agreeing with you, because again, it was the first one. It's hard to beat the original. It's hard to kind of, and it's a classic, and it holds up. You could take those guys and take them out of 1983 and put it on tomorrow night, and the match would hold up. I rewatched it this morning, and I have in the studio, I have the pay-per-view going in the background. I liked the match, and I liked it better the second. See, the problem was I had to rewatch the match because, ironically, I too had 3 favorites, and this one, because of the ending, went to number 3 because it was perfect. It was old school with the new school. Like they were again. It proves my theory that you can take the old wrestling stuff and just bring it up to date, and it still holds because the idea is evergreen. As soon as MJF broke, I would have been. Not since my fictional son came home and told me he's a Republican have I been so disappointed in somebody when he pulled out the fucking thumbtacks, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And then the Wardlow shit, and then the thing with the ring. I was like, you guys had it. You had it. And then you got lazy and you just went with all the new school shit, and you just literally, you didn't need the thumbtacks. Sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That what threw me with the thumbtacks. I was like, it's a chain, man. Why do you need thumbtacks? Look, but the ending, I was cool with. But go ahead. No, and I explained to you why the ending.
Thing. You promised me something and you didn't deliver. Like, I get it. You're going to do something with Wardlow, but doing it the way you did, you just took everything away from the match. Again, I have faith that they're going to somehow spin it on Wednesday into something, but it's like, okay, thumbtacks, you didn't need it. To quote Jim Cornette, a hat on a hat, on a hat, on a hat. And then after everything they're doing, the guy supposedly has a broken hand. There's all kinds of shit going on, yada, yada, yada. And then, but one punch from a Cupid Zirconia latent rain, well, that's going to be the ultimate downfall. And it was, I don't know who came up with the ideas towards the end, but it was like you're writing East of Eden. And then you just kind of got tired of writing one of the greatest books ever written. It just went, and everybody lived happy ever after. It was lazy. It was stupid. And honestly, it went immediately to number 3. And had I not rewatched the match, and as soon as I see the bag, I stopped it and I went, oh, well now, because honestly, I don't think it would have went in my top 3 because I was so disappointed, and it literally soured me so hard, and I was so annoyed because you promised me something and you didn't deliver because you're stupid. And also, thumbtacks, it's been proven they don't really hurt that much. It's a minor prick Just like when they said if you do barbed wire, if you just run into it and bounce off, you're fine. It's the like laying on it that really hurts. It's like, I'm sorry, you're a grown man over 200 pounds and you get beaten for a living. You mean, if you want to impress me, use the little push pin. Don't use the flat ones. Use the big plastic ones. Yeah. And wrestle barefoot.
Ooh, I've seen a match like that on CZW where they did a barefoot match and with broken glass. That shit was crazy.
I just was so aggravated and annoyed. I don't want to harp on it because I'm slightly irritated when we started the show today. Yeah. So it's like, nope. I'm sorry. The match went from basically a B minus. It went from an A to like a B minus.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed because you got lazy at the end. And again, the thing with Wardlow, it was not the time. That was not the time.
Because to me, I agree with you on the thumbtacks because one, it was a chain match. It was a dog collar match. Didn't need the brutality was there with the chain. You didn't need the thumbtacks. You feel me? It's not a hardcore match. So everything should be around and centered around the chain. You feel me?
Yeah.
Now the ending, I liked it because one, the way that Wardlow did it, he comes down, he can't find the ring until CM Punk knocks your boy out, and then he puts the ring down he put the ring down in the ring. Understandably, why CM Punk did use the ring, because a lot of the matches that MJF won was because of the ring, because he hit people with the ring. And I have to say, out of all the moves, that has been the most protected one in AEW. So they continue with that. I like that.
But
versus he kicked out.
But the problem is when he does the thing with the ring, it's like the old school heel way of like you're wrestling and then you pull out the chain or the foreign object and you punch him. You just spent like the last 20 minutes being hit upside the head and dropped on your head with these like and here's the thing. If you're going to do the thing in wrestling where and we're going to talk about it in one match where you're amping up the moves to the point where I'm stopping short of pulling out a gun. And then all of a sudden a schoolboy or, like Andrade, I'm going to hit you with my Kindle. I'm going to hit you with my Kindle, and that's going to knock you out. Not the shovel, not the 400-pound man, not the chair, not being dropped at 50 feet. My Kindle. It's a Kindle Fire. Ooh, it's extra heavy. And it's just this level of stupidity where it's like you realize it's the law of diminishing returns.
Mm-hmm.
It's, and I get it. Yeah, you good point. They're protecting the ring, but it's like you didn't need to do that spot. You think the ring and everything else. I was just so disappointed.
Now, what they could have did differently was Wardlow couldn't find the ring. He turns around, your boy catches him with the to go to sleep. And then Wardlow pulls out the ring like, I finally found it, versus putting the ring in the ring. Period. Like I said, what I liked about it was they finally did the Wardlow turn. And the way they did it, he literally fucked over MJF royally. Period. But they could have did it a little bit different. I agree with you on that.
If they were going to do it, like I said, I would have saved it for Wednesday for like Wardlow didn't come out and then MJ gets in his face and, whatever, then Wardlow drops him on his head. But I would have had Wardlow doing this, like just, kind of be like, he pulls out the ring and then just cracks him a shot. And then he stumbles backwards into the go to sleep and then the pin. And then, so that way, okay, you would have had it. But he was sitting there guffawing. I mean, he did it. He was funny about it, but he's sitting there guffawing, looking at the pocket. And it's like, dude, you built up this match. This match was the de facto main event for everybody watching this pay-per-view. You made hundreds of thousands of dollars on this match because that's probably the main reason why a lot of people bought a $50 pay-per-view. But you have him sitting there like, whoa, and then you have all this like, fucking, this all this what do you call it, all this like, fucking gaga, and it's like it was over. I don't know. I didn't like it, and whatever. And I could fill up a whole hour by saying how much I hated it. So the match of the night for me, it went like this. It went. The match of the night for me was because it actually gave me what I wanted and then some. It was Danielson and Moxley.
That was my number 2. Let's go into that.
It gave me what it promised, and then it gave me Regal and the potential for something, whatever it is, I'm in. Then it was Kingston and Jericho, and the only reason why it didn't get number 1 is because you told me the fucking ending on the last show.
Yeah.
And I knew the ending, but that match was absolutely perfect.
I'm sorry I spoiled it for you.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I just had to give you a little bit of shit for it, but no, it's fine. Yeah. But I mean, it's those 2 matches delivered, and I have to give Jericho credit because I've been very disappointed with him. He didn't look like shit. He apparently, whatever, I don't give a fuck if it was lipo. I don't give a fuck if those abs are silicone. He looks good. And apparently, whatever he did, it like lightened him up, and he's actually able to move again. Yeah. And he did the right thing for Kingston, and you know, kudos to him. But those 2 matches delivered. To me, the dog collar match only gave me like half. You gave me half. Yeah. You know, so those were the 2 main matches for me. The World Championship match was what it was. Yeah. The 6-man tag match was better than the world title match. And the women's matches were not good. And the referee, Paul Turner, who's somebody like I want to talk about at some point, like this fucking guy, you either like, I don't know how he is your senior official. Like, I don't know what pictures of Tony Khan he has. It is, you know, but that dude, he did some shit that I was like, dude, I can see you. Like you are the worst referee. Like they need to kind of.
I mean, yeah, they the referees at AEW. I swear I've seen some referees, but goddamn,
okay. In the Daniels match, you could see Daniels hand off the blade, and then he throws it out of the ring. I'm sorry, that was a different referee. I'm sorry, I apologize. One referee throws it out, and I'm like, dude, you either need to get better referees, or you need to really clue in your camera people, and they need to work together. The Paul Turner. During the title match, that match was so bad for 2 people that were so good, but he literally turns his back to avoid seeing the double team, and then he looks at one of the women outside and does
totally blew my mind.
He does a big wink. I'm like, dude, I see you. You realize you're on TV. This is not. This is not like.
Think about that match in particular. That blew my mind. That God, what's that girl name? Anna Jay. That was a heel move. Now, Ty Conti supposed to be the face, right?
Yeah.
For Anna Jay to interfere in the match, it didn't make sense unless Ty Conti is a heel.
Again, they just kind of like, oh, this will get a pop out of the crowd, or oh, this will get, and it's like, again, logic. See, again, logic. Are you know, I mean, you know, it's just yeah, like, and again, the more I see Jane Cargill, I'm sorry, I get it. She's going to be a star, but you put too much of a spotlight on her, and she can't. She is getting better at every match, but it's not at a rate that it needs to be. You need to get that fucking belt off her.
Of course, we're never going to see a 5-star match from her.
I'm not saying that. I mean, you know, I've been wrong in the past. People have won me over, but. You got a title that to me is dead. I don't give a shit about the TBS title. You got somebody that is obviously trying. Also, no offense to the little girl. If she's a heel, I stop showing me her fucking kid and her husband. You can't tell me she's a heel. And
I could understand that either, because it like this to me, right? And this is where I know Dusty would have slapped the living shit out of Cody. Cody, you stupid boy. You're stupid. You're supposed to have heels. You're supposed to have baby faces, baby, because we need them. We need people to cheer. We need heels that people gonna hate and want to see get their ass kicked. And they want to see the dream, the American dream, baby, come up and become a winner and be champ, baby, and not have no more hard days. I'm sorry, I had to do my Dusty Rose.
No, that was good. That was like you channeled the spirit. No, look, either she
out of Cody for saying that statement for real.
Either Jane Cargill is either an inspiration for women who have a different body type, and she's a proud Black woman, and she's a mom, and she's a success story, and she's an inspiration with a good-looking husband and a little girl that's so cute you want to eat her face.
Yeah.
or she is this elitist
That
bitch who's
bitch.
better than you. You can't have both. And so I
Yeah.
stopped showing me her fucking kid and stop showing me her husband. Stop.
I'm like, I know Ronald Reagan was in the back, was like, Tony, why you keep showing Jane Cargo's child? Ain't she's a heel? We're not supposed to like
again,
her.
Tony Khan, it's the same thing with Vince. Tony Khan, at the end of the day, is the Vince McMahon of AEW. So when you see something on TV, he's learning, but either he thinks it's a good idea or he's just letting people
Tell him what to do. He
what
just go
they
with
want. And again, sometimes you can't.
it. Yeah.
And
Because to me, the match was pretty good. I could tell Conti, who was more experienced, pretty much paced the match. She pretty much called it. Conti did a good job to make Jane Cargo look good. But like I said again, I want to see Jane Cargo against another big woman. I'm tired of seeing her with these small ass chicks. Because I'm supposed to believe that Ty Conti, even though she is a jiu-jitsu master, supposed to beat an athletic, gifted woman like Jane Cargo.
Well, no, actually, here's the thing. Well, that's the point of grappling and being a shooter. Like, I'm a grappler. I have, some experience, and that's the whole point of.
Yeah, because
if we get into a bar fight, I'm not going toe to toe with you. Like, I've won I haven't been in the bar fight in a very long time, but last time I won one, I basically just shot in on the guy, took him down, and then wrapped him up in a knot and basically started yanking. And he's like, "Oh, you're a pussy doing all this." I'm like, dude, I'm not going to stand here and trade punches. This is not any which way but loose. And I'm not Clint Eastwood. I don't own a chimp. I'm going to stretch you, and I'm going to basically either choke you out or break something. So the fact that she's a jiu-jitsu master, she should have been able to do.
She didn't do no jiu-jitsu. During the match, she's striking all motherfucking day, but she's not out wrestling Jane Cargo.
Well, that's the thing.
That's
the thing. Everybody's got to be super athletic. Everybody's got to show you everything they can do and whatever. I didn't like either one of the women matches, which is rare. And I was disappointed with, I don't know what happened between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, but the referee was a jerk off. That
match to me was the worst match of the night.
And
I will say that as much as I love Britt Baker, that match was not paced well.
Something was off. Something was off with them.
Yeah, and mind you, they normally have great chemistry.
Well, that's the thing. I think maybe the hype sometimes get to the, it's like also and here's the funny thing though, with Kingston and Jericho and Moxley and Danielson, they proved the point of you don't need a lot of fucking bells and whistles, and you don't need to be flying across the ring like you're. And if you actually give me, if you tell a story and give me kind of that, then that's really the fans will respond to that. I mean, you're always going to have that one jerk off fan in the crowd that he's upset because not every match a table is breaking or whatever.
Spot fest.
but you know what? You don't cater to that guy because he just instinctively gets everything he wants throughout a card. Mm-hmm. So like that guy, you don't cater to. Mm-hmm. The tag match was also the second, the number 2 match for me of I don't give a fuck, and your tag title.
The tag title match.
The tag titles are irrelevant. I mean, I'm sorry. They need to get the belts off of.
I told you it was more about Red Dragon, and that's what the match was about. Red Dragon and the Young Bucks.
Yes, and you know what? You have ridiculous tag team champions that aren't believable, and you just degraded your belts. And by the way, the bookers of the fucking tag division are in the match where you just kind of showed me that your tag belts don't mean any shit. And also, I get that Luchasaurus, I heard interviews with him. He's a very intelligent, and I would imagine
he needs to lose the Luchasaurus gimmick. I agree with you. He's a great athletic big man. He can go.
That's what I was gonna. No, he's not athletic. He's slow and he's plodding and he's awkward. He's trying to be athletic and he's trying to be quick, but the guy. kicks. I have time to roll out of the ring, swing by the concession stands, grab a beer, walk back, ask the cute chick in the front
just
row.
touch your face when you get back to the steps.
Yeah, like, hey, is that your boyfriend? Well, I got to go back and take this kick. But I'll tell you what, sweetheart, after the last high spot, when I go through the table of thumbtacks into the pool of sharks, why don't you and me go get a drink, get back in the ring, and then take the kick? Look, I'm not saying he's a terrible human being, but the guy is just, he's slow.
He's trained to be a big man. You get what I'm coming from? Because the kicks I ain't got a problem with. It's some of the high spots he don't need to do because you're a big man.
Well, it's just unlike a Wardlow or a Powerhouse or Keith Lee or, even a Braun Strowman I've seen pull out some shit out of his ass. You're not that kind of guy.
They did it and you didn't see him do it no more. Like when I saw Braun Strowman do a fucking drop kick, we didn't hardly see that before and really didn't see it after.
Well, I saw him once do some World of Sport, like roll arounds, with a test of strength. And, he never did that again. But here's the thing. You can't do it, or you can't do it in the sense that it comes off on TV because it's so slow. The only thing out of this match, again, by forcing the tag titles that neither one of you have, it's also kind of making me not give a shit about, because I already hinted that it's going to be Cole and the Red Dragon versus the Bucks and Omega. But it's like you need to just either put the belts on one of you or just leave the belts out of it. And also, again, Jungle Boy is a future star. He was selling like Ricky Morton. But again, it's too much going on. And you're forcing an issue and you're using your tag champs, which, again, your tag division is kind of... I'm sorry. I like the Young Bucks. And they have done a lot to overcome a lot of shit, and they're an inspiration in a way in that people kind of snickered at them and they paved their own way and show people like, hey, fuck you. But they're doing a bad job with the tag division, and honestly, you can't have an active tag team booking the thing when they're in the tag division. It's not going to work, and they need to take it away from them because it's like they need new champs to make Jungle Boy single. I don't know. It was... Yeah,
because to me, like I said, I knew they were going to put the belt on Jurassic Express at some point. I knew that was coming because just the way they were pushing them and because of the love of Jungle Boy. Period. Like I said, my only issue with the match is that the focus was not on everyone going for the title.
Exactly.
It was more so the beef between Red Dragon and I would have said it to Tony Khan myself. Why you even got these guys in this match? Just have them in a separate match and give the tag title shot to somebody else. You could have gave it to the rapper boys. I can't think of the name right now.
Oh, the Acclaimed?
They could have gave it to the Acclaimed.
Well, they had to win a match first to actually...
Yeah, true. They could have given it to FTR. Hell, FTR still the damn Triple H champs.
Well, you can't do that because that would actually make people happy and actually make them the top dogs of the tag division.
Yeah,
here's the thing. How about this? Instead of putting your champions, which are supposed to be the best team in your division, if you have the titles, you're supposed to be the best team in the division. Have FTR in the match and have FTR. Why isn't FTR fanning the flames of dissent between... You know what I mean? Like, you have two top tag teams and you want the title. If you and I were a tag team, I would be like, let's get in the match. And here's the deal. We just fuck with them. Like, position yourself throughout the entire match. Take whatever bump you got to take. But get them at each other's throats. And we'll let them, tear each other apart. And then at the right moment, you and I will make our move. And we'll put them down. And we'll walk out the winners. Like, why is nobody antagonizing this? Especially the Young Bucks. They play such, antagonizing heels. Why is nobody like, oh, well, I'm gonna fucking antagonize you back by trying to, oh, Red Dragon thinks you're so much better than them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, they could have played it off especially with, like, for example, what they should have done instead of having two battle royals, have a three-way tag match between FTR, Red Dragon, and Young Bucks. Build it up. You feel me?
Yeah.
FTR, for storyline purposes, they win the match because they did their job with the dissension, like you said. Now we got two tag matches on Revolution that are high quality.
Yeah.
And then whoever wins between Red Dragon and the Young Bucks, then you give them the title shot.
And I liked your idea about the Acclaimed bit, but here's the problem: you have to give the Acclaim
some wins.
Win. Like again, you're treating the George Goulas gang, who gets no victories, better. Like they look better losing every week, like the fucking uncoordinated tools that they are. But meanwhile, the Acclaimed are coming out. And here's the thing: when I first saw the Acclaimed, I'm like, who are these two jerk offs? And then in the process of their work, their gimmick, to what they're doing, now they're like one of my kind of like they are kind of my
favorites.
I'm rooting for them. I want the Acclaimed to go on a winning streak. I want the Acclaimed to be the tag champions because I think they make great heel tag teams. And you're not giving it to me because, like I said, I walked in the Kroger yesterday to go shopping, and the Acclaimed were laying down in the middle of the fucking produce aisle. I'm like, what are you guys doing? It's like, oh, just doing the job. So I got like 2 victories over the Acclaimed myself. So nice guys, great guys, but they put me over clean.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, the potential that AEW got for their tag division is astonishing because they got great tag teams. They have a deeper tag division than any of the other wrestling promotions. If you look at it, and it's a lot they can do with it. So it's kind of like, to me, like I said before, the problem is that when it comes to the booking, they have to implement all the tag teams so that we know the tag team division. You know what I'm saying? Period. You have Rampage, you have Dynamite. Period. Like I said, everybody does not watch Elevation or Elevation Dark. AEW Dark or Elevation. You feel me? So it's kind of like you're not giving us enough different feuds, even if it's just promo segments or backstage segments where these two tag teams are beefing. You know what I'm saying? You're not giving us that. You're not.
Well,
I like the fact that you got the best tag team division in the world right now.
Well, you know what it is? Then it would require them not being the center of attention, and it would require them to think about other than themselves. Because if you really think about it, who is the one tag team in the division that constantly has an issue and or a feud going? It's Young Bucks. Who books it? The Young Bucks. Your champions don't have an arch rival. Okay?
No, they don't.
You have one of the best you do have the best tag team in the world in FTR, and they pop if we're lucky, we get to see them as goons backing up MJF. And that's the best part. They're only a group when they need to do something dastardly at the ring. There's never any group interviews. They don't hang out with each other, nothing. So, but also, and look, again, I like them better. I think they're kind of trying to be too NWO-ish right now. When they were in PWG, they were the best heels because they made that crowd. They made the PWG crowd hate them. So that's some good heel shit. So they can do good heel shit. But I think it's gotten, they went from you're never going to amount to being anything in this business to telling the entire industry go fuck yourself and being success. I think it's gotten away from them. And you need to take the division away from them, just the booking. Okay. I'm not saying don't use them. They're the Young Bucks. Of course you use them, but it's like, look, like you said, we need, and you need to stop beating certain talents. It's like, I'm going to stick with the Acclaimed because I'm going to die on this hill. I decided I'm dying on the Acclaimed hill. Okay. But you need to, even Private Party, you went through all the trouble of signing them in Private Party.
And putting them over, and now they have been forgotten. Like, no one gives a shit about them.
And then Lucha Bros, one's injured, the other one thinks he's the Undertaker now. So
I like Pentagon Dark now. I ain't fuck that. I'm a Pentagon fan.
No, I like the thing, but again, the guy, his handler, lose the Torquemada thing, lose it.
Yeah.
You're not doing well.
With Pentagon, they should allow him to channel the Lucha Underground Pentagon Dark.
Well, I mean, that's great.
That is best.
And maybe do again. It's
he could be fucking champ, dog. He could take. I can see him being the AEW champion, taking it off of Page at some point.
I mean, yeah, but you got to build. It just there's a thing of there's issues, and then there's the rest of the show. So there's 2 shows. There's the good stuff that's happening, and then there's the stuff that you can clearly tell, like, oh, the Young Bucks are the ones booking this, or it's just like, here's sweatpants, and he's gonna do something. Which, by the way, I'm gonna say this because we're gonna talk about the main event, and we're gonna talk about the George Goulas gang. The thing with sweatpants, either I get it. Look, the guy's a fucking genius. I will say this from this day forward: whatever I say bad about sweatpants,
My Orange Cassidy.
yes, he is a fucking genius. It probably should be put in charge of the national economy because he's fortune off of this gimmick. But you know what? It's ever getting closer to the crossroads. Either fucking implement something new or do something with them or whatever, because I'm tired of looking at him. And the gimmick, and literally, he makes everybody in the ring when he's doing his shtick look like a jerk off. And
the gimmick.
and look, I'm sorry, but if I was a wrestler, I'd probably be like a Greg Valentine type. And if you came in there and did that shin kick,
you heard he's hurt, right? Because we keep Lee through his ass.
Well, because I guarantee you, part of that was I don't think Keith Lee really how strong he is, but the other one, I saw that throw. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think it was a little bit of annoyance that he had to fucking stand there. And, he had a look on his face and it looked genuine. I'm like, are you I just left the WWE. Are you kidding me? So he probably put a little oomph on it that he probably didn't need to. But at the same time, so I think it was part accident and part like, get the fuck out of here. Because it basically becomes, oh, this is not about the match. Look at my gimmick. And it's not, it's every week it's becoming less and less incorporeal. And and here's my part. We're going to talk about a world title match, which, by the way, the ring entrances, I don't know if you saw my tweets. We're going to talk about the ring jackets and the ring.
Oh, my God. We talked about what's the name of that movie with Sylvester Stallone?
So here's the thing. You have this guy in a multi-ladder match. He just beat the guy who somehow became the number one contender, and he's nowhere. So he beats Adam Cole, goes nowhere, and now he's in a match fighting for an inner tube, which, again, the thing with the inner tube...
I'm trying to figure that one out, too.
Here's the thing. It's supposed to be a shot at Vince, and here's the thing.
The brass ring, I know.
Vince McMahon is a douchebag and a cancer to wrestling, and he also doesn't give a fuck, so you need to stop saying the road to anything. You need to stop with the brass ring. You are even when we're criticizing AEW was so much better than it's like the ugly chick that is that's like an amazing person to hang out with, and she's like a way better fuck than a hot chick you ever banged, but they still gotta bring up the fact of oh, she's prettier. I'm like, bitch, you got your job, you're the girlfriend. Stop
get over
about other bitches. I did not fuck other bitches in the ass last night. I fucked you because you let me fuck you in the ass, which makes you awesome. Stop fucking complaining about the hot girl down the street. I don't give a fuck. So when you say, you know what I thought about during that entire ladder match? WWE. Because you had the fucking inner tube up there.
Like a WWE ladder match compared to
it was because it's a trope. The multi-man ladder match is a trope. And now you're that, but the brass ring doesn't even look like a brass ring. It looks like you're going to a big ass
inner tube.
You know what it looks like? Anybody who was poor and went to a pool when you were a kid in the summer, it looked like you and your brothers and sisters fighting over the one floaty toy. Who's going to get to use it first? That is a ladder match I want to see. A bunch of poor kids fight over the one inner tube going to the pool. So you want to talk about some high spots? But that's what I saw. I saw a bunch of dudes fighting over an inner tube. WWE, AEW, like I said, for all the times I will call bullshit on some of their stuff, they are better than the WWE because I paid $50 fucking dollars. That you know what I could really use that $50 for other shit, and I didn't. Even the stuff I didn't like, I rewatched. Okay, and not just for the show. I didn't hate it as much as the first go around. So you guys are already better. You won. You're better than the people want to be there. WWE. People want to be there in AEW, and you have a better product. So you should stop worrying about the pretty chick down the street. It's all makeup. Fucking get rid of the brass ring thing. Get rid of the road to any. Just whatever. If they're fucking if all the wrestlers are wearing red, ban the color red from your show. Like that's how much they should be avoiding anything the WWE is doing. So, but yeah,
because
Sorry,
but I didn't mean to interrupt. But the thing with the ladder match is, like I said, it was one. It kind of threw me for how the size of some of the dudes. You feel me? I had no issue with Wardlow winning because I feel like out of all of those guys, Wardlow, yeah, I want to see what happens with him. You know, period. Also, I can tell they set up Hobbs versus Lee, which I cannot wait to see that. Oh God, that's gonna be a horse fight and a half. You know, period. The irritating annoyance of that match was actually Starks.
yeah.
Like Starks was just lost in the sauce in this match.
Also,
by him.
Also, there's another guy that they claimed Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, Britt Baker, and Jungle Boy. Like these are the guys that really should be and also Hobbs, but be prominent because these are actually your real homegrown like AEW. Like this is the AEW. MJF, Wardlow.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: he gets the Asshole of the Year award for taking that one final bump. It's like, motherfucker, you just came back from a broken neck. Are you fucking kidding me? And here's the thing. I really want to stop the show for a second and say this to any wrestler, any AEW fan that maybe has the ear of a professional wrestler, or even anyway, I don't give a shit if your uncle's a wrestler. As a fan, since like 6 years old, as a fan of wrestling, I'm going to tell you this, and any real wrestling fan will tell you this: you don't really owe me that much. Okay,
no.
if you blow out your knee, go stop being a high flyer, go with a grappling style. If you fuck up your neck, I'm not going to not buy a ticket because you're not in the ladder match, or you're not doing the diving headbutt, or you're not, doing 20 flips in the air before you land on a guy who's on a table made of thumbtacks glued together by their childhood regret. I don't care, because what I want is one day to maybe go to a convention or go to an event and see you happy and retired and walking around and like shaking my hand, and you could actually move your fingers.
Yeah, because that spot that Sting did with the table, that shit, I was like, first of all, he didn't even hit. He barely hit Andrade with that splash. Barely. But
the thing that Starks did, in the ladder match, the fucking when he did the flip, or not the flip, and he landed like on his neck and shoulders.
Yeah,
and it's like
Starks, because
dude, you literally almost had your career ended before it started. Like, I don't give a fuck if the doctor. I don't give a fuck if your doctor made the neck better than it was before. Stop doing shit like that, because here's the thing: same thing with Daniel, same thing with Brian Christopher, same thing with Edge. You have everything in the world that you and I are currently working for. I would like to one day own a house. I would one day like home to the very nice house that I own with a dog and my cats and my lady, and live my life and enjoy things and be able to do things and so on. If you wind up in a chair, if you wind up breathing through a tube, if you wind up like being just all crooked or whatever, it doesn't affect me. And in my day-to-day life, until I turn on TV, I don't really think about Bryan Danielson. I don't really think about Stark. So you're going to put yourself into a chair or worse for people that honestly, when they leave the show, are going to go back to their lives and have to worry about bills and everything. Like, you guys need to put yourselves first. And if fans don't want to be...
That powerbomb was nasty, yo.
And I'll say this on behalf of the wrestlers. If the fans don't want to be a fan of you or buy a ticket because you're not basically dropping on yourself on your head from 50 feet in the air on top of your search, fuck them. They can go back. They can take their man tits and their hairy backs and go back to their mom's house and go fuck off. It's your life. I'm telling you, do not do that shit anymore. I got so mad when I saw that. I was like, you know what, dude? I hope you're not hurt, but if you are, I have no sympathy.
Because it was like Wardlow. Because it was like, I don't know if Wardlow didn't lay him out properly or what.
But also at the same time, you're on a chair that's like, you built this erector set of chairs in a ring with a little bit of a bounce to it.
That was he built the goddamn the ladder against the rope with the ladder already standing up.
Yeah, and also
he probably broke, I think. So he didn't even powerbomb him on the part of the ladder that Pose had broken.
It just like it also again, even with the like you're tired, you're gassed up. Like how there is no real way. That's why wrestling fans get irritated when people say wrestling is fake. There is like how I think Wardlow, for a guy with his limited experience, probably protected him better than anybody else could in the world, because Wardlow again is another guy who is your future, main eventer, world champion, and so on. There's only so much you could do. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. I would have been like, I'll be in a ladder match and these are the bumps I'm going to take, but nobody is going to do like, I would never take, I'm like, no. And it's like, dude, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Cause at the end of the day, like draws off, that was an accident, but and it's sad. And I do think about him occasionally, but you know what? At the end of the day, when you're out of the public eye, like these wrestling fans are not, kind of come to your house and applaud you and everything. Like you still have to live your life. Don't put yourself into an early retirement or worse because of me. If fans are like, oh, he won't do the chair shot, I'd be like, well, fuck those fans. They can go the fuck home.
Now we're going to get off of that ladder match. And we got 3 matches that we want to talk about. The Jericho and the Eddie Kingston. Because we mentioned it in passing here and there. Very great match. Very physical. They was laying it in. It was stiff.
Oh yeah, no, it was
stiff. I love this. It to me, them the best kind of wrestling matches. I like wrestling matches where it's not a lot of high flying. It's not a lot of spots. It is stiff striking. It's real fucking fighting.
Well, because it also like the best cage match ever for me is Tully Blanchard versus McIntyre, because they fought like 2 guys that actually had an issue. And fighting is not cool. You roll around on the ground and you're mushing each other's faces and you're red faced and you're out of breath. That to me was the best match because they were tough as
It was physical. Because even when Eddie came in, I like the way Eddie came in. Was no fan, but he just got in the ring, got ready. Like, let's go.
Yeah, and honestly, it was a 90s. It was like a 1990 All Japan match.
Yeah,
American style.
And I think Jericho and Eddie got together and said, "No, we gonna go old school New Japan with this."
And actually, I love Eddie Kingston. And again, I want to see Kingston with some kind of title or very minimum. You need to push because this guy is going to generate you countless amounts of money, and he can talk. And when his time is up in the ring, there's your next Bobby Heenan. I mean, I would already now look, we're gonna give you a little bit of extra money on your contract, and I'm gonna have you work with JR, like on your day off or something. I want to get you ready to be in and out to be my next Bobby Heenan, because the guy can talk. But what I noticed in the ring was he is the only wrestler that basically, how Terry Funk just was crazy in his own very special way, and he has his own Terry Funk kind of not silly walk and the way of taking a bump and kind of being, like when Terry Funk would swing at stuff that wasn't there, and it was always believable. Like that is what Eddie Kingston's got that no other wrestler, none. No, everybody tries to be Terry Funk. People have been trying to be Terry Funk since the mid 80s. Yeah, Eddie Kingston is kind of Terry Funk without actually being Terry Funk. He's just Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, because if Terry Funk came in this day and age, he'll be Eddie Kingston. Yeah, and again, the guy can talk, and he's got stepdad body, but you know what? Don't give a shit. When when he like the shaky walk he had, everything is like this guy. And then again, he beat Jericho, which I think to happen. Yeah, and I like that Jericho did not shake his hand. I like that. I don't know if you would make him a world champion, but the thing is, this guy I can see Eddie being a world, if not a long run, a short transition run.
I mean, I could see it because he's been a champion for other companies and held the belt. But I would protect Eddie. I would protect Eddie and make him an attraction. Like I would really build up his star because that's the closest to Stone Cold you're ever gonna get.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is it's the closest you're ever going to get in the most original way because what you have there is you got a little bit of Stone Cold and a whole lot of Terry Funk, and Eddie is mixing it and making it an original recipe. I can't say enough good things about Eddie Kingston. If Eddie Kingston by chance ever listens to this episode, dude,
we want you on the show.
I will pay you. I will pay to see you read the phone book. Okay, like I don't want you ever not on my TV. I want you wrestling. I want you winning. And when your time up in the ring, I want you in that announce desk with like Excalibur or something.
Mouthpiece for somebody, because I can see it. I can see that too. Because even when he was the mouthpiece in Impact for the OGs, they were going against LAX and Conan. I just love the promos he did because he didn't wrestle much. You know what I'm saying? He was just a mouthpiece, which is kind of crazy that Impact didn't let him wrestle. Well, but maybe he was hurt, whatever. I don't know, but go ahead.
Well, that could be because when I saw him briefly with his little rod in the end, he had a brief run right before AEW at NWA, and he looked like something. He was moving like either just age and all the years in the ring. I don't think people realize he's been around a minute. He looked to be moving a little slow, but that seems to be past him. You know what it is? He's all do and he's all talk and he's all persona, but he could back it up. So he's literally legitimate. He does not have glamour muscle. Like I said, he's built like a stepdad. He looks like he's about to scream, "Put away your bike" at any moment. But the guy is believable. He can talk. And when he's not talking, the facial expressions, like, he'll like when he told Tony Schiavone, like, let's go get something to eat. Like the guy is money. But I think part of the problem is that one, he is like literally a street kid and he's not going to take shit and he's not going to kiss your ass. But also he doesn't have that look. He like if this was 1970, he would be traveling the country like Ernie Ladd and Wahoo McDaniel making a million. And if it wasn't for AEW, I don't think he ever would have been given that big chance. Not because he deserved it, because this is long overdue. Because
of his look and the way that he sounds, because he's so hood.
He's a wrestler. He looks like a fucking wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing. And he moves and all his stuff is believable and he's not trying to do ridiculous power bombs and that spinning back fist and everything else. Like the guy.
Yo, man, that spinning back fist is nasty. I love it.
I mean, I could watch Eddie Kingston all day and I could listen to him all day. And one of the smartest things, and you know what? With the signing of CM Punk, and I don't give, I'm going to say this, I don't give AEW credit for signing FTR because they've done jack and shit with them. But the signing of Moxley and Danielson and Punk and kind of raising the bar. But one of the smartest things they did, and it doesn't get enough credit, is signing Eddie Kingston and running with that ball.
Yes. So now over to Eddie Kingston and the Jericho, because like I said, we mentioned Jericho a little bit, how good he looked and everything. Now let's go to the title match, because I want to say the Danielson and Moxley for last. Now the title match, I watched it. I enjoyed it. I liked it. Adam Page as well as Adam Cole, they did a good job or what have you and everything. It was just you want to be honest, it was a typical Ring of Honor match for the most part.
Yeah, it was a good match, but the build-up was all wrong and off.
Yeah.
And it was kind of rushed and it wasn't set up properly. And like I said, the ring gimmicks, I laughed. I literally rewinded like 3 times because he looked like the Rhinestone Cowboy, Stallone, and then he looked like Captain Justice from Running Man. I'm like, what
Look, I was mad. I said, damn it, Paige, I just defended you on your cowboy shit.
Yeah.
Now look what you do now.
Yeah. See, another white man doing a black man wrong. Yeah, I defended you on your cowboy shit.
And be on cowboy shit, you gonna come out looking like Sylvester Stallone. What the fuck, yo?
And you got the tassels, and they're all.
Oh my God. I was just like,
and here again, it's it was a good, solid match, and like you said, a Ring of Honor match. But again, a lot of Gaga. You won. I'm gonna call bullshit on Tony Schiavone because he literally was decimating Adam Page, and then went for the move, is boom, and hit it, and they kicked out, and they're big. Tony Schiavone like, well, he didn't pull down knee pad. I'm like, motherfucker, he just dropped him on his head 7 times. You mean to tell me the knee pad? That must be the greatest knee pad ever. If I ever get arthritis in my knee.
Yeah, we do remember Tony Schiavone from World Championship Wrestling. Let's just be honest. Him and what was it, David Crockett was the worst color commentary.
Well, I kind of liked that combination back then, but it's like it was just bad. It was bad booking in the sense of he should have won the match at that point, and then saying like, well, he didn't pull down the knee pad. Fuck you with the knee pad. Your mother's a knee pad. What do you mean you didn't pull down the knee pad? And then the other thing that I absolutely hated, and this is where we're going to go in with the George Schoolis gang, and I'm literally going to, we're going to have an issue on the show, because from now on, if this happens, I'm going to turn the match off, and you're going to have to tell me the ending. You had 2 of the stars that you had just paid a lot of money for in Red Dragon get chased off by a bunch of mopes that can't do the simplest thing off. And
I'm going to tell you what's funny.
Like run-ins or beating up the security or whatever, it's like literally they're just so bad every which. They're so bad that we need to do I
got to ask this question: do we have to have clicks? Everyone has to be clicked up.
Well, apparently so. But
because
that's
to me,
the clicks.
This is what I hate. Stop being New Japan. You're not New Japan. We don't need another Bullet Club. We don't need another House of Torture. We don't need another Suzuki Guns. Okay? It's okay for the champion to be by himself and he's friends with some of the top baby faces. You get me? But not necessarily clicked up with the Dark Order. No.
It's, I don't mean to correct you, but it's a George Schoolis gang because, these...
Yeah, they're GGs. We're going to call them the GGs.
Like, how Stone Cold had the broken glass and, and the New Age Outlaws had, oh, you didn't know. When they come out, it literally should be, Daddy said sail. And if those of you who don't know that story, it involves Harley Race. Go look it up. Daddy said sail. Oh no, here comes the Dark Order. And then all of a sudden Yakety Sax starts playing. They are just so it's literally I could not work for AEW as a wrestler because I'd be like, no, I'm actually, if they come out and try to chase me off, I'm gonna literally kick the fuck out of every last one of them because they never. But somehow they're always involved in shit and then whatever. And you're making your champion look like a jerk off more so other than his gear.
You make it seem like he needs the Dark Order when in actuality he don't.
Nobody. You could take a kid with Sarah his wheelchair and, let Pitbull's 100 yards away loose. And that kid would not need the Dark Order. Okay. You don't need them because it's just, I don't get it. And if I actually ever met Tony Khan, I would go, okay, explain it to me. Why is this still going on? And what the fuck? Because you do a 2-minute push to make 10 look credible for half a second. Meanwhile, I've never seen this dude, get other than getting his ass handed to him. The most awkward, and by the way, the little security team that always runs out like they're the Keystone Cops, and if you guys are future wrestlers, your future is now looking bright because you are the most. Even my lady even said the little short one with the beard that the way he was running down the ring.
Go ahead.
He was running down to ringside one night. She's like, "What's with the run?" why is he running like that? I'm like, I have no idea. Like, you put this guy on my TV to do jobs, so I don't know why he's running like that. Like even the way they run in to do whatever, I'm actually every week. I try to say, like, if you're gonna just bring back the Smash Brothers and give them a job and make them you're under. Now I'm starting to get to the point where, like, you know what? Fuck the Super Smash Brothers and fuck what they did in the past. Get rid of the lot. Like, if you're gonna start cutting costs, either you put these fuckers on YouTube where they belong from here to eternity and take a check, or fire them. I think
it's time to break up the Dark Order. In my opinion, I think so.
Oh no, yeah. Or like I said, or you know what? I was thinking about a George Goulas Gang T-shirt for the show. So maybe if we sell a couple T-shirts, you could let them drag off. But I'm sorry, no, yeah, because either they're jobbers or they're somehow because it's non-effective, and you're making your champ look like a jackass. That he has to, and already the champion's got enough problems as
and
is.
And too, also, I didn't like the fact that they had Red Dragon interfere, which I understand why Red Dragon interfered, but I didn't like it because it brought the Dark Order out.
Well, yeah.
I'd rather it for it to be a straight up match, no interference, no hijinks, no nothing.
Well,
because as soon as I saw Red Dragon come out, I said, here come the Dark Order.
And that's again.
I would have preferred the Young Bucks. I mean, I'm just anybody, actually.
And here's the thing, and I'm gonna give Triple H credit for this more than WWE, but they were always presented as guys who could fight stars. And I'm sorry, as somebody, again, never set foot in the ring and so on. So this is all just a bystander's opinion. You don't have your top stars or people that you're going to make top stars get their comeuppance from fucking nobodies. They may get like a drop kick or or whatever to so on. So that's all well and good. And then the guy gets and then and then it's like take you seriously enough, and then you just then you swat them down and you beat the fuck out of them and then you win. These guys they're bad comedy, and it needs to stop. And I don't know. It must be the greatest collection human being ever, because I can't think of any other reason why you would continue to do this silly, unfunny, uninspirational fucking bullshit. Part of it, I think, is because Brody King or whatever his
Brody
Lee. Brody Lee passed away. I honestly think had Brody Lee not passed away,
they would have been better off.
They associated with him, and then they passed away. Then they made him good guys. So it's like,
and that's where they messed up at to me, because I think they was on their way to one. He was going to probably kick everybody out and rebuild the Dark Order. You feel me?
Rightfully so.
Period. Because, like I said, because don't get it twisted. It was funny as fuck on BTE. I loved them on BETE. They're hilarious. But when it comes to the wrestling. I think also, now to be honest with you, they also did hurt them being on BTE. Because how can I look at you and treat you as villains and heels if I'm laughing at you?
Well, I'm actually about this because on my TV, the George Goulas Gang, Daddy Said Sale is coming out. And you want to tell me that you think Red Dragon's a bitch without telling me you think Red Dragon's a bitch, and that the Keystone Cops are now, standing around them and patting him on the like, oh, you okay? Like petting him, and he shoves his own people into the Red Dragon, and then now Red Dragon starts hitting them, but now Red Dragon and I'm really calling this in real time, are now being chased away by a bunch of fucking just
goofs
players, and it's literally the most awkward beatdown, and these guys. Just like fucking Evil Uno is dressed the fat guy from HR in a mask, and
yes,
and also, okay, why is the Rhinestone Cowboy pushing away his own friends? They're down there to help you fucking jerk off. Mr. Johnny, I can't handle my drinking. It's like, and then it just, and again, Red Dragon has a name. They have value. You put your belts on them, and they would actually
and we take them serious.
and you're gonna have them chased off by a bunch of guys who can't even even Colt Cabana, and at least I can make an excuse for Colt Cabana in that he's been wrestling for over 20 years. So his body's a little broken down. He's gotten heavier as he's gotten older, so he may not move as smoothly unless he's warmed up. But even then, you like Colt Cabana has value, and you just diminish that. Like again, Colt Cabana, smart guy. At times, why? Like I know he probably doesn't want to retire from in the ring yet, but why put him with these idiots? And also because you made him a jerk off, but why not try to talk him into or pay him into being an announcer? Or something. I don't know, but
we're doing a good job with and the NWA.
Okay, George School's gang. It's seriously. I'm initiating the rule of if they get involved in a match, I turn it off, and then you can just tell me what happened to the rest. Because I'm not. All I'm going to do is get more. I'm going to get more aggravated and rant more and more every week because it becomes worse every week.
Well, let's move on to something that is worth cheering. The final match we're going to talk about, the American Dragon versus Moxley. And this match, like I said, I had it as my number 2. And what I love about this match is that, one, it started off, they were wrestling. Then it became brutal. And also the thing that I liked the most is when the blood came in, it made it seem like it was incidental blood from them headbutting each other. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it made the match seem more physical and more brutal because of that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the fact that Moxley won by outsmarting him.
Yeah, it was the ending when you saw the replay, it made it happened. They did it so quickly. It was the Piper Bret Hart ending. And again, it was a good ending. Also didn't lose anything. The match, I honestly, the only real thing I could say that I didn't like was the referee's blatant, the camera caught Danielson handing off the blade, which Danielson should have just threw it outside the ring, or the ref should have just put the shit in his pocket, or just hold it in your hand for a minute, you idiot.
Yeah, because to me, I thought the blade happened when they fell out the ring and they headbutted each other.
I think when they were struggling, Daniels did the honor. He did it for if you really look at because again, when you give a hole, then now I can go back and Zapruder the whole thing. You can tell by the way, because again, it looked convincing because again, when you actually are fighting, it's never smooth and looks cool. Yeah. And they were, headbutting each other and doing this whole thing and schmozzing each other. That's where I think Danielson was giving him the Sheik treatment. And he gave Moxley his thing, and then he was trying to do him. But sometimes I've heard, depending on whatever, you cut yourself or whatever, it doesn't happen right away, so you just keep going. And then Danielson, because obviously his mind was other places, just hands it off to the ref, and they caught that on camera. Yeah. But then the ref takes it in his hand, it goes like this, it throws it out of the ring, and it's like, dude, put it in your pocket. It's not going to cut you out.
Yeah, because you don't want the fans to see that shit, man. Because
I saw it, and it was blatant. And he also
you saw it on TV. So imagine how the fans felt in the arena.
Well, and the thing is, the refs really need to tighten up their fucking shit because don't win.
They need a guy who knows how. They need an old school ref that know the old school ways that can show them. Because a lot of
well, they had Earl Hebner for a minute. I don't know what happened. Maybe he's just getting too old.
Just like I said, because to me, for example, because even with an old school ref, they'll know. He would have looked at him and be like, "What you doing?" You know what I'm saying? But period. Because even with that, because most wrestlers, what they would have done every day after they blade, either they put in their tights, roll out the ring, and then slide underneath the ring.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Or they have it within their tape and then they just tape it back. You know what I'm saying? That when you see them do the tape, mess with their tape.
I don't know what, like, I'm assuming he had it in his wrist or something and it got knocked loose because they were being very physical, but hire Tommy Young or hire Earl Hebner as a consultant and have them go through training camp because, one, don't do a big wink after the heels do a really bad, god-awful, one of the, actually, it was the worst beatdown of Thunder Rosa I've ever seen. It was so bad. But then do a big wink, like, I didn't see that. Wink. And then also, if they hand you the blade, take the blade and keep it in your hand, and or stick it inside your glove, or just
hold it for a minute to where nobody paying attention.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying, and then slide it in your pocket.
Yeah,
also, you know what I'm saying, as you turn or what have you.
And also, I get that you want to protect the wrestlers, which should be key number one. And everybody's got somebody in their ear. It's not as bad as WWE, but when the wrestlers do some kind of ridiculous move that they shouldn't do, and you're going to go down there and check the guys and make sure they're okay, don't side eye. And again, actually, as two porn people, we'll tell you this: learn the gift of peripheral vision. Don't side eye the camera because, like, oh, when you're trying to, like, are you okay? But I can see your eyes staring at the camera as you're trying to look like you're not staring at the camera. It's like, oh, you're trying to make it look like you're not asking him if he's really okay. You know, it's like you need, and the ref and any old time wrestler will tell you. And if you go back and watch old school wrestling, the referee was very important and just as much a talent. Like I said, Tommy Young, Nick Patrick.
Some of them was former wrestlers.
Was the son of the assassin.
Yeah.
You know, Pee Wee Anderson, Mark Curtis, who was trained wrestler, but was
one of the Armstrongs was a referee for the WWE.
Yeah, get him, make him your senior referee.
Out of him, because he knew how to do it properly. But that's because
his dad was bad. His dad was Bob motherfucking Armstrong.
Yes, I loved him.
I was the referees were, and this is the other thing. Again, and this seems to be a recurring thing with AEW. You need to get a better sound guy, or you need to understand that you're on TV, because everything. And I'm partially deaf, so I give a little bit of leeway. But at the same, when I rewatch it, I'm like, no, their sound guy sucks a bag of dicks. The entrance music, the crowd, everything sounded muted, other than the announcers, and you need to work on that, because the entrance music, I didn't hear anybody's entrance music at the time I watched it and really paid attention. The crowd sounded like they weren't there. You need to learn how to mic things better, and you have the budget and the money. Like, there's stuff like that. You're paying enough money, and you got enough shit going for you, that little things like that. It sounds like I'm nitpicking, but it's like, okay, if they can't make it happen, they don't need that job. They need to be fired and get somebody to actually do it. And again, the winking referee, Paul Turner, and whoever that idiot was in the Daniels match, I would grab them both by their ears and be like, so I live in Georgia, which is several hundred miles away, and you're going to come, guess who's going to be driving in the car with me? You two. And I'm going to fly you out of Atlanta to wherever you live. But for the next 7 to 8 hours, you're going to listen to me explain to you how badly you're doing your job. And you're never going to do that shit again, because it was so blatant that you're going to sit there. I'm going to pay for everything. But for the next 8 hours, we're going to talk about all the shit you don't do when the camera is on you.
Amen. Now, of course, after the win, they continue to fight, because also I like the fact that it happened so fast that Daniel didn't even realize he lost.
Yeah.
And they started to fight. And then, of course, when Rico comes out, after they done beat up the security and the referees, and William shuts them down.
Yeah, and the crowd, biggest pop of the night, I think, out of everything.
And, by the way, I must admit, my partner predicted that he would be in AEW. None of you, not Wrestling Inc., not even the great Brian Lass or what was your damn name? Uncle Dave. Uncle Dave didn't predict it. My partner did. Said he would be in AEW. Give my man his goddamn roses.
I love you. I love you, Kavanaugh. Brian Last, if by chance you or anybody that works for you hears that, we do love you. Please don't rip us to shreds, because Brian Last, is the real podcasting godfather of pro wrestling. But yeah, you don't want to get the ire of Brian Last. I don't fear many men, but as far as like Oracle being on the podcast, but no, well, it's just, again, I'd like to sit here and say how smart I am, but this guy is the last modern guy to go from the carnival to the highest rank, and the guy he's still young, and he
knows how to wrestle. Because I'm sorry, from watching Progress at ICW, their rookies don't look like our rookies. Oh no, it's no Green Acres over that motherfucker over in England. I'm talking about even the one that only been wrestling for a couple of months look like he been wrestling for years. Yeah. So it's kind of like, it's just because the training that they do over there. I see why a lot of American wrestlers go over to Europe to get their training.
Well, they start young too. They're allowed to start at 15.
Yes, because man, it was like he came in, he slapped Moxley, headbutted him. Brian did. It felt like the daddy coming to break up the fight between the two brothers.
Yeah, and the thing with people respect him. Daniel Bryanson wears the colors he wears because of Regal. Yeah. He had a profound influence on a whole generation of wrestlers. He was nice to Triple H. Like, he was in a tag team with Triple H, and that was going to be a push. And then Triple H got the offer, and very selflessly. And this was at the time in Regal's life where probably he wasn't in the best mental space, if you ever read his book. But he said, go and don't look back. And Triple H always, that's why they had the Lord of Eaton and the Blue Bloods with Bobby Eaton. Yeah. Because he told Triple H, go, and Triple H never forgot that. And again, Regal is one of those guys like Wahoo that was never selfish. He knew that, I can give you some love. I can give you the space. I can help you, and that's still going to come back on me. I'm still going to benefit, and it did. But I'm sorry, if I was going to start a wrestling company tomorrow, even if it was going to just wrestle out of high school gyms,
Regal would be my booker.
Oh, I would give him whatever job he wanted, and I would probably work two jobs to pay him.
That's the question I wanted to ask you. Do you think he's going to let Regal book more? Because I think he's going to let Regal do a lot of booking.
Well, he should.
To help him out. To help him out in many ways, because he saw what Regal did with NXT. Plus, on top of that, Regal got that UK connection. You feel me? So it would surprise me that some of them UK youth is coming over here.
Well, Regal is the modern day. After reading, and I read Regal's book, and we're going to do a profile on Regal. I'm going to reread that eventually, but Regal is the modern day Wahoo in that he has been around forever, and he has ingratiated himself to everybody loves Regal, and they'll go where he is. So I think he'll give. Hopefully, if Tony Khan is smart, which he is, despite flaws, he. Book, and again, take it away from Omega, take it away from the Bucks, and give it to Regal or give him Ring of Honor. But also, I feel like there's going to be a heel, knock you on your ass, bust your mouth, stable. Some kind of weird thing is coming with him and Regal and Moxley, and I kind of think it's going to be really awesome. And so he might hopefully have it on screen. But also because he does have a little bit of that English, thug. I mean, I know the British. The British get this rap of, they're so, the Queen, and King Crumpets, and we're just so proper. But the English will fuck you up. The English are tough, working class, thick-wristed, head-button motherfuckers. And honestly, that whole part of the world, the Irish. Headbutting, even if you come from a Scottish Irish Catholic, English, Welsh family, headbutting is just inbred. Because I can't tell you how many street fights I've won,
Man,
or how many fights I prevented with a good fashioned headbutt. I can
and
headbutt
look,
the fuck out of
I'm just
somebody.
going to say this now, which is a great segue because you mentioned that. Of course, we all know that Swerve Strickland is now AEW, which I'm very happy about because he's a great wrestler. But the last thing I want to say, and then we're going to be wrapping this up, I'm going to start a segment called The Match That You Need to See This Week. The match you need to see this week. If you have Peacock, go to Progress and check out the latest episode where the main event is Cara Noir versus Swerve Strickland, the Realist. Now, for what he's talking about, watch the whole fucking card. You're going to fall in love with Progress. You're going to fall in love with it because everything that we complain about with AEW and WWE, they don't fucking do over there. And on top of that, in this match here, let me tell you how real the match got. Cara Noir is the best wrestler in the UK, my brother. Hands fucking down. He's on that William Regal, Doug Williams level, man. Just to give you an example what I mean. Him and Swerve had a great match. At one point, Swerve did a move where he bent his arm way back, stomped on the arm where it looked like he broke his arm or snapped the thing out of joint, right? Let me tell you how real Cara Noir is. Cara Noir put him in a chokehold with a dead arm, biting the hand that went around the neck. He had his finger in the mouth, biting it, holding it. I said, this is gangster. And he won with a roll-up. You know what I'm saying? But the match was good as fucking shit. So I tell people you need to go and out your way and watch that match. Because I'm sorry, Cara Noir, I'm very surprised that NXT UK has not ran and grabbed that dude. That dude is money. If you haven't seen him, Google him. Watch his matches.
I'm going to check it out tonight. I'm going to check it out. But you know what? Here's the thing. There was a very brief period of time where if you were somebody on the up and coming, especially if you were Australian or British or European, because again, they start young. So by the time they're like 23, they've been doing this like 8 years, and they can rebound from injury quick. So you got all the stuff going. You got youth and you got experience.
Do you blame them? Look how physical that matches be, man. Even the women matches they be laying it in.
But the thing is, the WWE is quickly becoming the place you don't want to go unless you think you can hang on for a few years and get that paycheck and you don't care, then go to WWE. Unless you can get assigned to UK NXT, AEW is and now I'm hoping Ring of Honor in whatever comes in the coming months is going to be the place you want to go. If you're a young wrestler and you're making a living and you got some buzz behind you, I'm sorry, I can't think of a bigger way to take yourself out of the game and off the map as far as wrestling than going to the WWE. Like I said, you'll get a paycheck and you'll own a house, but you will kind of just fade off into the background or look ridiculous for a couple of years if you get a couple of years. AEW, hopefully soon, Ring of Honor. Impact is still trying to shake off the ghosts of the past, but they seem to have a solid roster, and the guys are working their ass off. Like I said, Jordan Grace, John Grisham's wife, is somebody that if I owned a company, I would hire her tomorrow and build my women's division around her. Because you want to talk about somebody who looks like Jane Cargill, but like more impressive and can actually work. Hi, Jordan Grace. Bring her in and have her.
Ooh, I love Miss Joy. I love following her. She's one of the finest women in wrestling right now. And it's just funny seeing how she done slimmed down with her body, period. And I'm sorry, whatever kid her and Jonathan Grissom's have, I really hope it's not a girl. Well, because I'm sorry, whoever the boyfriend gonna be, I feel for you, buddy. You're gonna be scared walking to that house.
Well, the only thing I could take away from Jordan Grace is she has announce because it's obviously a passion of hers, and obviously
Mm.
she's good at it. And I know people who do this sport, so once you get into it, it does become a passion and an obsession.
Yeah.
She's into powerlifting, so she's cutting back. She's under contract with Impact, but she's cutting back her time with other stuff
Wrestling.
so she can focus on that. And it's like, look, she's happy, and her husband's an ever-growing star. She's an ever-growing star, but I think I honestly believe, with all due respect to Grisham, she can kind of exceed his reach quicker. And I think she would be really blowing up in 2022. But if she focused on either wrestling for Impact or maybe going to AEW, but she's happy in her life, so she's enjoying the powerlifting, and that's a goal of hers. But she's pulling back on wrestling right now a little bit, so she can do the powerlifting, and that's my only critique. It's like you're kind of hindering yourself, but at the same time, as somebody who's been miserable majority of his life, I understand being happy is kind of more important. If you can make some money and be happy, you will take that less money and be happy.
Yes. And we're done.
We're done.
That's right.
Daddy said sail. Daddy said sail.
Sail fast. I love when you say that. Daddy said sail. I love that.
Okay,
story.
real quick.
That's one of Jim Cornette's dad's best fucking stories ever, dog. About George.
Okay, real quick, for the audience that doesn't know, George Goulas was a famous promoter in Memphis. Until Jerry Jarrett kind of, usurped him because he tried to fuck over Jerry Jarrett. The thing is, he had a son, George Goulas, who, by all accounts, was a very nice guy.
But was a terrible wrestler.
Well, he was terrible, but also he was very simple. Not mentally challenged, just very simple. And George pushed him like he was going to be the next NWA champion because it was his son. And, of course, George loved his daddy. Even as a grown man, he called him daddy. So George, I don't think, was a bad person because I've never heard anybody technically say anything bad about him as a person. But one time, and I think Harley Race wrote about it in his book, I have to double check, but the story persists that he once had to go an hour draw with Harley Race when he was the NWA champion, which was the norm that usually local guys won an hour. And it was, to say the ultimate test of Ray's skills or Harley's skills as a wrestler was, to put it mild, that's like saying the ocean was a little wet. And apparently he couldn't do that great of a job because the crowd was getting incensed, not because of Race and his dastardly deeds or tactics,
because of George.
Because he really could not make. And essentially, at some point, Race had enough and mushed George up into the corner and was kind of giving him a little bit of a rough hand. And George's response, as he's being bent over the top rope by one of the toughest men ever to wrestle and lace up a pair of boots, was, but Daddy said sail. and again, the reason why Race is the real world heavyweight champion, he got through the hour. He even knocked out some fans that apparently were so annoyed by the whole thing, decided they were going to interfere and he protect George. And he did the job of the world champion. But that line will live in, and George Goulas is still alive, and it will live in infamy that Daddy said sell.
Oh my God, that was great.
And that is, to me, the perfect phrase of a wrestler that's in a spot that he doesn't hear, he's not ready for, or he doesn't belong, which is the Dork Order, is Daddy said sell. And Papa Khan Goulas is telling everybody, Daddy said sale. Now we can wrap it up. I just had to get the fans.
There you go. So, people, another episode of Pro Wrestling Smoke with me and Billy Pilgrim. I hope y'all really enjoyed. To all our subscribers, thank you for listening.
Yep. And like I said, we critique some stuff on the AEW podcast, but I will say this: I paid $50 for it out of pocket, and I didn't regret it. So I would give the overall pay-per-view an A just for that.
Yes, I give it an A. I give it an A myself.
Drop it $50.
Yeah, see, that's how we're going to rate. We're not rating by stars. No, we're rating by letters. A, C, A, B, C, D, people, and F. So
actually, you know what? Since we are technically porn, the double D should be the ultimate. The double D should be technically the A+ rating.
Yeah, actually, it should be. Like, that one was the A. But wait a second, I thought A was good. No, that means A cup. It was small tits.
No, it was good, but again, you had to have thumbtacks, and you had to have the George Goulas gang, and you had to have a kid with a restructured neck take a ladder bump, so you don't get the double D. Sorry, you're close.
Close, but you get a D. That means the tits are nice size. It's a nice size pair of tits. Yeah. There you go. So, people, how we always end this every day, all day. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience? You didn't learn anything. Smoke this over. See y'all next week.
See y'all next week.
Hey, how you doing? Let me tell you about a great deal. Why don't you come on over to the Premium Smoke Room? There ain't no smoke like Premium Smoke. I'm talking about 4 premium podcasts. I'm talking about Miss Spit Queen and the Porn Rap Star. I'm talking about Pilgrim on Wrestling. I'm talking about Causing Havoc with Princess Havoc, as well as the Reed Daily Report. Oh, I'm sorry, 5 STO Dark. Plus also extra premium episodes for some of the hottest ladies and gents in the business of porn. And all this for $4.99 a month. I'm talking about 5 to 6 extra episodes a week on top of the free shit that you get. So do the math. Great deal. Only on Spotify, only on Anchor. Come check me out. Come catch this premium smoke.